as I got a bit older, like I was 10, 12, 13, whatever, and I was still trying to work out what I was and how come I didn't want to play like sports with all the lads and how come I didn't have any lad friends. And my dad said, when I was a kid, my dad took me to the football field with my little brother. And he said, I remember I just knew that you were an artist and that you were gay and that you were this. And actually he said, because I took you to the field and you would just like pole dance on the goalpost. Yeah, that was kind of when I first knew that I really wanted to sing, because I would sing every single day and I would ask mum if I could go to choir, I'd ask mum if I could go and learn, and at school I would only be interested in the subjects that involved any sort of like artistry. I hated everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a pop sensation in the building, a man that his voice commands attention and he has an energy that even Red Bull cannot match. A fashionable icon, always looking good, smelling good, feeling good, brings that energy into his music. And of course, if you listen to him sing, watch him dance, he is somebody you want to follow on his journey. Performing at the Korak Live Music Events, 30th October, I give it the one and only, Anthony Hughes.
Well, I'm glad you said I always smell nice.
Yeah, well, it is, man. Every time I come close to you, I'm like, oh, hello.
Yeah,
I like it. You need to tell me exactly what that is.
Nice.
You need to tell me exactly what that is. I'm going to steal it and use it for the weekend.
Today I think I'm wearing Gucci Guilty.
Oh, hello. One of your endorsements, eh? Gucci.
Yeah, right.
I like it. Well, big shout out to Podcast Rooms, Henry, Adam. Thank you for taking care of us. And of course, ambassadors for Korak, Caribbean Coffee. Great beans, great coffee. So, Korak means footsteps. And what we like to do is understand every step, every journey that you have been going on, what's been happening in your life. But before we go into what's going on, take us back. What is that first step that you took in realizing that music was the way forward?
So I don't ever think that there was like a first step. I just remember like I'd be in the car with mum and she'd play like Earth, Wind and Fire and Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston and Luther Vandross and all these kind of her favorite artists. And I was a child at the time in the car, and I would always just try and copy their style in a way, because I just loved the soulful sound. And yeah, that was kind of when I first knew that I really wanted to sing, because I would sing every single day and I would ask mum if I could go to choir, I'd ask mum if I could go and learn, and at school I would only be interested in the subjects that involved any sort of like artistry. I hated everything else.
I know, I totally understand that. Mommy seems like she has a good sense of music, good taste of music.
My mum's got really good sense of music.
The artists that you were reeling out there is all good. Where did you grow up?
In Bournemouth.
Bournemouth, okay, very nice. Oh, yeah, I met your mum for your album release at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Very nice lady. I hope she's coming for this one.
Yeah, she's sweet. Yes, she is.
I like it. So you have always listened to good music thanks to mommy in the car, going to school, and of course trying to be like them. So it's something that you would say has always been part of you. It's just
absolutely. Like my mum said, as soon as I could talk. I mean, obviously that's quite a thing that every artist says. Oh, as soon as I could.
No, not every artist says it. Some people didn't know.
Because but I mean, I've heard it like a few times where artists would say like, yeah, as soon as I was able to speak, I could sing. But I actually was like all the home videos of me. I don't stop. I'm always asking mum and dad to like pay to watch to watch my concert in the lounge, and I was that irritating little boy that just was craving for attention.
Is this so? Obviously, mommy has good taste. Was music part of the household? Do you have siblings?
I do, yeah. I have a younger brother and a younger sister.
And do they sing as well? And
no.
Are they into so just you?
I think I'm the only person really. I mean, my dad used to sing around the house, but no, yeah, I'm the only person who's kind of gone down that world. I'm the polar opposite of my brother, and the polar opposite of my sister, actually.
Nice, nice, nice. So,
But we
what
get
was
on.
life like growing up in Bournemouth in terms of living as a young boy, knowing that music, singing all over the place? What was life
Yeah.
like?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's an amazing place to grow up. It was on the beach. It was a very a beautiful place. My mum and dad moved there just as I was born because they wanted me to have a bit of a better upbringing because they were from up north, and my mum and dad were just part of like a, a, a couple of what's the word? The neighborhoods, I guess, that again they just preferred if I was born down south and blah blah blah. So yeah, I did have a very good upbringing. Um, School was obviously a bit hard because I was like a young boy who always wanted to do shows, and I was in all the school shows, and I wanted to sing and dance all the time, and all my friends were girls, and as I got a bit older, like I was 10 and 10, 12, 13, whatever, and I was still trying to work out what I was and how come I didn't want to play like sports with all the lads, and how come I didn't have any lad friends. And my dad said when I was a kid, my dad took me to the football field with my little brother, and he said, I remember I just knew that you were an artist and that you were gay and that you were this. And actually, he said, because I took you to the field and you would just like pole dance on the goalpost. And I was like, wow, doesn't surprise me at all. Apparently, I was like 10, my little brother was like 6 or something. But yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. And then he said, after those kind of points, I was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna make him think that one certain path is like the right way. I just want him to work that out. And obviously, I was so grateful for my parents because yeah, they've always been extremely supportive of me, and have always made me feel like I can do whatever I want to do. So yeah, I was really blessed in that way that I was able to go down that path. And at school, I always chose all the subjects of that path. I always did music, drama, dance. Um, I was able to go off to university, and I trained at the London College of Music, and I was able to do that as my degree. And it's all because I had the support of my parents. So
Very nice. So, yeah, big shout out to the parents in terms
yeah,
of supporting you regardless, or making sure that you were comfortable in your own skin.
yeah,
You don't usually get that sometimes, especially if daddy really wanted a football player,
exactly.
and then, but it's
And he's
it's
from a completely different background, our dad, and I was really not expecting it to be so smooth. But it was great, and he's always been incredible, and him and my mum have always been extremely supportive. So yeah, I'm very grateful for that.
sometimes when you have something naturally to yourself. So you've been singing and dancing, as you remember, as you said. Did you actually think this is something I want to do as a career, or did you think this is just part of me? I did this in my sleep. Did you actually look at it and go, want to be an artist. I want to be a musician.
Um, oh yeah, I mean, I always knew that it had to kind of be in my life in some aspect. I think, especially when I was a teenager, even though I always had this like a dream that like I want to be on stage, I want to be like Britney Spears, I want to have dances and sing my own songs, blah blah blah. It was harder for me at that time, and as a teenager, I didn't think that I'm going to be able to make like a career out of it. I was a young, confused, gay teenager who I was like, it's not really in the market right now. So I was also a really good dancer. So then, because I did dance, drama, and like all those kind of things at the same time, I then realized that I think it's probably going to be easier if I go down the dance route because it seems like I'll be able to get a bit more like work, and I'll actually be able to have like a career in it because still it's not really important about other aspects in my life. As long as I'm a good dancer, it's fine. And I was a really good dancer as well. So
Wait, you keep
I
saying you were. Are you still not a good dancer? As in,
when well, I mean,
have you traded the boots? Do you not? Are you now? You've given up on dancing. Speaking about dancing, though, I
yeah.
did see your audition for Britain's Got Talent. That is something we need to talk about, because I bet you had your hair all nicely done, roller skates
That was
on,
on skates, yeah.
skates, dancing. So dancing was the route that you felt, okay, let me do this, and then you
Yeah.
obviously did it with enough confidence and belief that you went on British Got Talent. Talk to me about that, because
I
that is
was
a
very
tough gig.
passionate.
That's a
Yeah,
tough
I
gig to
mean,
do.
that was like one of the shows that. I did a musical a few years ago called Starlight Express. A few years ago, called Starlight Express, and obviously we had to. I think to get into the show, we obviously had to do a casting, but it was like a few dance auditions, and then I was called in because of my voice for a couple of the covers and a couple of the lead roles in the show. So obviously at the time I was like, it's a dream show, gonna learn how to skate, blah blah blah. Um, I enjoyed skating, but in the park. Like I mean, I we had 4 months of skate school, I think it was, and I was able to skate obviously because I did 8 shows a week for like over a year and a half. But I was
8 shows a
always
week. How old were you then?
that was when I was 23, I
My
think,
good God, 8 shows a week.
about
Well,
10
that's like a
years ago.
standard theater kind of
Yeah,
show.
exactly.
Eight
Yeah,
shows. You did like what,
and
Wednesday all the way to like Sunday or something.
yeah, it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, and Sunday. Yeah.
My God.
Um, and I mean, it was an incredible experience. I just knew because I was asked if I wanted to renew my contract, and I was just like, no,
Why?
because it was just not. I was always anxious on skates. I was so scared of like I was just like I feel like I just want to be earthed and I want to be on my feet, and even though it was a great experience, and now I'll always be able to skate, but one contract for me was enough. Um, and also at the time, I was so passionate about dance, and then I was really a skater. I was doing like arm choreography, which wasn't really dancing, and it would just be like, oh, I wasn't really inspired. I was inspired by the whole like theatrical aspect of it because it is a huge show, Starlight Express, but I just wasn't inspired enough. Like I wasn't really I wasn't able to really sing a lot, and if we did sing, I was singing in German, so I wasn't still understanding everything that I was saying, and obviously in my core, I'm an artist, so I was like,
Do you speak German?
I mean. No, I'm going to say no because I did learn a lot of German when I was there. But I can't. I mean, I can speak a tiny bit.
You can
Uh,
get, I mean, you can get a coffee, you can walk around, you can do the
oh
usual thing.
yeah,
So with dancing though, it's you've been taking some very bold moves, and I say that because in America, dancing is like, big. It's people go, yeah, that's it. My major is dancing,
yeah,
and I think in the UK, correct me if I'm wrong here, in terms of like, depending on the dancing you're talking about, but when it came to like the contemporary street dance, there was an emergence where you had, I think, the year where you had like Flawless and all those
yeah, yeah.
groups coming out. And even now, I speak to dancers and they talk about like the difficulty in terms of actually making it or using dancing as to set a standard of living. And if you go back to when you were trying to be a dancer, obviously I believe it's a bit more difficult then. So considering the fact that you were a good singer, good dancer, why was dancing put ahead of singing at the time?
I think it's because I didn't be so. I've always had a stutter.
Hmm.
It's if people don't know what that is, obviously it's like a speech impediment,
Yeah.
and I've had it since I was a child, a stammer or stutter or however you I've heard of it before. Um, And so, even though as a child I was really passionate about acting, I loved to play roles. I loved to learn scripts and stuff like that. And I was in like a lot of shows as a kid, but I was terrified all the time of speaking. So obviously that doesn't really go hand in hand. I want to be an actor. I don't want to act on stage. But then every time I have to learn a script, my mom was like, I was always sick of nerves every show. At home, I'd have to go through my script like thousands of times. I would ask the people who I was doing the show with if we could like change around words because I couldn't say it. And but also I didn't really want to ever say I have a stutter because for
Yeah.
some reason as a kid I was so scared about it. So I think the acting thing, I was like, I don't really want to audition for like big roles in shows because I was just too scared to act, even though I knew that I wanted to sing. And I would have probably done well because of that. However, I just didn't want to act, and I didn't want to learn scripts, and I didn't want to go into rehearsal rooms because I've been in rehearsal rooms in the past when I was in that kind of industry, and I just hated it. I was like, just under a lot of pressure, and also I had to sing in a completely different style. I was always getting told to tone down my soul sound and tone down my like
Who was telling you this? Like people you're
tone
auditioning
down
for?
my riffs and my runs. Yeah, so like obviously in like the MT kind of world, the musical theatre kind of world, you
Mm.
obviously have in a lot of cases you have to blend in and you have to
You have
have
definitely
like a specific
taken.
sound. And I understand why, but obviously I just didn't.
Yeah.
Like I just wanted to sing rather than.
You're a man that likes good fights, man, because in everything you're choosing is a good battle. Yeah, dancing, theater, those things are. I mean, from what I hear, it's a tough world. So I mean, you clearly have some wonderful resilience that you should put in a bottle and sell because people don't have that these days.
Oh
But how
God,
do you,
yeah, I would
uh,
100% say I've got a lot of resilience. I mean, I've not ever stopped. I've always like been hustling every single day. Like I've always said I'm not ever going to stop because it's the only thing that I really feel alive is on stage. And I've done every other job under the sun as well. I've done corporate jobs, I've done gym jobs, I've done this job, that job, cafe jobs, and I've always worked as well on the side. But obviously say the past year or so, I am able to really put music first, and I'm in a few bands, and I do a lot of stuff on the side. It's like as well as my own music, so I am able to start to make this into an actual a career rather than just a hobby.
what then happened with BGT? Where did you guys get to?
I don't even know what I don't even know what happened with BGT. So we I think I auditioned. So even though they all stood up and said yes in terms of the judges, um, it was just as COVID came in, and it was something logistically. I forgot what it was, but yeah, we just didn't end up going to the next round. And then we did, and then we were asked to go over to Germany to do Germany's Got Talent and do exactly the same audition.
Okay.
And they hated it. Like they literally hated it. We
One
didn't
man's
get.
meat.
It's weird though, wasn't it? Because we had like Simon Cowell, like
Yeah, standing up and clapping and all that stuff.
and he was like, I really like your front guy. He's a great front man. He's got good energy. And obviously because I mean, it was good, but obviously I knew that I didn't want my career to be on skates in like a skating group. I
Yeah.
was like, but obviously at the time, it was a good thing to do because it was good exposure. I was in a cool group and blah blah blah. Yes, it was fun, but then yeah, we as you said, one person's love is another person's hate, and Germany just hated us, even though the group actually probably came from Germany because it was from all the people that had been in Starlight Express in Germany.
Yeah.
Um, but no, yeah, they just didn't like it, and we didn't get through for that one. And then after that, it was kind of the point where I just said, look, I've done theatre, I've done all these other corporate events, I've done like these groups where I turn up, I have to sing in a certain style and do like, and I remember I was in like a Jersey Boys group as well for a while, and I just thought I'm actually at that point now, and I was starting to dance as well for some artists, and I danced for some artists where I was like, I'd see how they come on stage, and hear the crowd, and then I'd be in the wings like, trying to write my own music. And I just thought, okay, I'm just gonna call my agent. I'm just gonna say, you know what? I'm just gonna give all this dance career and all my theatre world and stuff up. I won't ever say that I wouldn't ever do it again in the future, but I really feel like I was born to be at the front of the stage and sing my own songs and write my own stuff. And I just did it one day. It was just in COVID, actually. I just thought I'm not gonna do this anymore as like, oh, I sing as well. I want to be Anthony Hughes, the artist and the pop artist and the singer. So,
I remember the first time I saw you, first time ever, was I think 2021, and Nate James Jam,
oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, in the Looking Glass in Shoreditch,
Oh, I love Nate James and
and
his jams. He's
yeah,
great.
and I remember then you popped up there, then you sang, and cool, and then I didn't see you till like 4 years later. or 5 years later when I saw you in Mama Shelter. So
Yeah.
it's a very small but big world.
I
And
didn't actually realize that you saw me in.
don't worry, I'm a stalker. This is the way I like the way I hunt. People don't see. You never see me there. You might see a guy with a hat, but that's good. So yeah,
I was hunted.
yes, you were hunted, and I saw you, Mama Shelter. Like, oh, let's say hey. So with your now that you've decided, Anthony Hughes, you want to be your own person. You want to be the artist. You want to sing. You grew up with a lot of soul R&B greatness, but you are very geared towards pop, and
Yeah.
you have that voice where, as you said, people have tried to tone it down. Why pop?
I suppose I had a grumble. So pop for me, I mean, I think it's all stemmed from the fact that I was a dancer
Mm.
and I've come from a dance background. And yeah, even though some of my favorite music in the world is soul, R&B, and completely other styles, I think it's because I'm from a dance background. I've always loved pop dance, and I think it was a little bit. I think also, to tell you the truth, as I was going in, as I was trying to transition into being like, yeah, the artist rather than just Anthony Hughes, who's like a performer. I was then getting in touch with a load of different producers because unfortunately I've tried a few times to learn, probably not as much as I could have, but I can't play an instrument. So I can play like a few chords on the piano here and there, but like all my ideas, and I write a lot of stuff. I like hum it into my phone.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'd be like, and then I would like say a few words into my phone, and then I would take that to a producer, and I just found that was a little bit easier and a bit more. I was able to access that a bit easier than it was to be in a room with a big band of incredible musicians. I mean, at the moment, in terms of where I am at the moment in my career, that's what I really want to now be doing, is working with bands and yeah, really trying to create a bit more in that way rather than just doing all the dance music, yeah, which I adore. I absolutely adore dance music. I think I'll always be in dance music as well. I'll always be having some dance tracks here and there out. But I kind of want to show the other aspect of myself, and start to put out a bit more pop funk, pop soul, yeah, that kind of stuff.
In terms of finding yourself and Anthony Hughes and where you're at now, who has been the people that you've looked up to? I mean, I know you mentioned Britney Spears as one of the people, but
Well, I
generally,
think
where do
Britney
you?
Spears was just like my as a kid, she was the person. You know, when you're a kid, you have someone on your wall. It was always Britney Spears. Like as a child, as she was like my icon, her and Beyonce,
So those are your
and
two. Those are like your two
George
top.
Michael was always a big
Oh
one.
yeah, George Michael. Oh yeah, I can see a bit of GM in you.
Yeah,
Earring,
I
hats.
loved
I like
Prince.
it. I like it. Did you take in terms of? You're also a very fashionable guy. I always see you in fashion shoots. You were talking about when we were off camera. You were talking about London Fashion Week and all the greatness and great fun you were having. Once
Yeah.
again, thank you for the invite or no invite. And so
No, well,
in
I need to thank the people for the invites because I don't know how I
you
got,
just found
I did
yourself
loads
there,
of,
like
yeah, I went to
boom.
loads of things last week.
So with your fashion, is that something you've always been into, or is it one of the things that comes natural to you? Because you always
I
dress
mean,
good.
obviously
And
today I'm very casual. I look like
I mean, you're
I could be going
casual.
to the gym.
You're casual. If you go to the gym like this, you need to be arrested, man. That's yeah. This is what I call taking the piss. How can you dress this good and go to the gym?
Um,
But is your
I
fashion?
mean, I
Is it
appreciate.
something you have always picked up as you've gone along, or is that something in terms of finding yourself? You found your fashion.
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to. It's hard to explain because if I take this right back and go right to the beginning, I used to use it in a way to add like a layer and add a bit of defense over me. If
In what
you
way?
like, I would use it to kind of mask the fact that I don't know, because I mean at school I was really badly picked on, and I was extremely confused and like all that kind of stuff. And I think I used it as a way of being like, well, if people are going to call me this and that, then I'm just gonna wear a big bright shirt or a big pink pair of jeans and be like, well, F you then, I don't care because yeah, that's what you're calling me anyway. So I think at first it was used as like a defense thing and as a I thought that that's how I had to dress because I was a confused little gay boy. But no, yeah, as I've gotten older, like it is a huge part of my life. Like I think a lot about what I want to wear for every single show, for every shoot, for everything I do. I'm always like that has to either match with this or that has to go with the color scheme or blah blah blah. Obviously, I can't wait for a time when it's even more part of my career and I'm working with like amazing designers and stuff as well, like on the
Oh,
side.
that's my
Yeah,
next
because at the
question.
moment
Are
I'm
you
my own
gonna?
stylist and everything. So
I was gonna ask, are you hopefully with things being wonderful? Is having your own clothing brand one of the things that you're looking to get to?
I don't know if I'd be able to keep up with having my own clothing brand.
You'll be a
However,
superstar by then. You have
I'd
like
love
millions
to,
of people working for
yeah.
you, so you'll be
Well, yeah,
fine.
true. I'd love to do like in the
Remember, I said
future
so. So yeah.
collaborations. So
Mhm.
I'd love to, like you see people like blah 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 for I was going to say something really basic, like for ASOS or blah 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 for H&M collaboration.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like a few incredible designers have done collaborations with H&M, and I've gone there for like the launches, and I've bought a few outfits of which if I was to buy them for gift from the original designer, it would never obviously happen because it's like huge designers like Mugler and things like that. But yeah, I'd love to maybe collaborate. I've got some really close friends of mine who are incredible fashion designers, and um, I'd love to maybe learn some of that stuff in the future and just do it like my kind of inspiration. So like Rita Ora,
Mm-hmm.
so she's just obviously she's always got big campaigns and collabs with Primark, and she has like a line out. So obviously, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say no. I would love to do something like that in the
If you know Rita
future.
Ora and see you guys are friends, I mean, she can come to Korak and you can give us a
I,
mention.
I
If
mean,
you, I
I'd like
mean,
to know Rita Ora, but
oh, you
unfortunately,
don't?
I
Oh,
don't
that's
know.
terrible. That is terrible.
Hey, Rita.
Well, hi Rita. If you're watching this by any chance, shape, or form,
I'll send it to
we
her.
want to be friends. One of the things, there are a few things I want to ask, and
Yeah.
this is because you've said them a few times. So one word that you've used a few times is confused, and obviously growing up with you being gay and people being picking on you and all that good stuff. Are you still what when you're confused, you have a lot of unanswered questions in your head, and of course the way people are talking. Have those questions been answered?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, because I know who I am now. I just didn't know who I was as a kid, and I wasn't. I was a very big personality as a child. I was really confident. I was a cheeky little shit. I yeah. I was always. I've always wanted I think even probably more so as a kid, I was just craving attention. As I got a bit older, I've actually, even though I love to be on stage, it's my life. I'm a kind of have half and half now. Half of the days, at times, I don't want to do anything, and I don't want to be on stage. I really need to have my downtime. I get anxious sometimes about being in like big shows or big spaces where I have to talk to everyone. I'm like, oh God. But then, yeah, there's other times where yeah, that's my life, and like I adore it. But as a kid, yeah, I think I was confused because I didn't really understand what I was. Like I had girlfriends, and I had a few friends who like at school who were lads. Um, Again, I say lads like always because that's how I've always been kind of taught. Either you're a lad or you're a girl or you're a word that's not nice about a little gay guy. Because I used to get like puff and all that kind of stuff at school. Obviously, like it's happened to a lot of my gay friends. But yeah, I was just confused about who I was because I didn't really know, and I was with girls, I was with boys. I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing here, but also I didn't really think that it should care that much.
Mm-hmm.
No, sorry, I didn't think that that people would care as much. But obviously, and at that time, it was very different. It was very
Would you say
integral.
music and your creativity helped you? It put you, it gave
It
you an
was.
escape, or not escape, but it gave you
I
a.
know it certainly was an outlet. It allowed me to get all of my creativity and personality and everything kind of through. Yeah, I think if I didn't have a music and dance and stuff as a kid, then I really don't know what I would have done, because I just had all of these crazy kind of like I had this crazy energy inside of me all the time, and and confusion and big personality and like questions about my sexuality and all that kind of stuff. So I was able to then kind of put all that out into my into my art and into like all the even at school. Like I remember being in like year 6, and I was in the Pirates of Penzance musical when I was like 10, and I played the lead role, who's like a handsome straight pirate, and I would be backstage like having my face done, and I remember having a look back at the photos from when I was a kid. And obviously he's like the pirate. Is it the Pirate King? Anyway, I've on stage I've got like more makeup on than any of the girls in the show. And I was just like, I can't wait to go backstage and have the sparkle of like the dressing room and have people to do my makeup. And then I was going on stage and I was playing a straight pirate that all the girls were in love with. And I think I just knew that it was a great outlet for me to be on stage.
One of the with all your experiences you've drawn and everything that's happened to you, and as we mentioned, your resilience, is that what do you draw from in terms of when you're writing music? What is the what is the actual, is it just experiences, or is it your experiences only? Generally, what's the message that your music has that you actually take in when you're writing
um,
music?
it has been experiences, yeah, of course. Like, it's been my own experiences from other relationships, from things I've gone through in life. Also, though, I find that I write stuff at times in the most weird times. Like I could just be on a train for. I remember once I was on the train to Berlin. I went away for a week on my own. I was on the train from Prague to Berlin and just watching the world go by, and then I was like so inspired, and I would write about like that, but but like probably in like a different way, so that anyone could kind of relate to kind of words that I was writing. I've written about relationships. I've written about um, personal things that I might not be as blatant as to what I'm talking about, but I know what I'm talking about, and maybe other people can translate it in like a different way. Yeah, but that's the whole point of music for me, is that everyone can kind of take your song and relate to it in their own way. But I, but at least I know that it's come from a personal experience. Like I've not ever like even though as well of the past year, I've heard a lot of times in the past in the industry like, oh, dance music isn't as deep and blah blah blah, and I'm like, I think dance music is very deep. I just think it's a lot of people might not take it as serious, but I think dance music's incredible. Like I've been at events, at raves, parties, or whatever, where I'm just like completely taken aback and inspired, yeah, by dance music. And every dance song that I've ever written has come from a like a really good experience, yeah, from a really personal experience, and every word, yeah, does mean something. So yeah, I love to write and be inspired by all different things, really. I mean, and sometimes I'll write about something completely stupid, and it's unimportant, and then I'll look at my phone 3 years later, and I'm like, my God, that song that I wrote 3 years ago, it's absolutely fucking awful. Um,
Are you, like every great creative, are you your biggest critic?
I mean, I am. I wouldn't. I am a critic to myself. I mean, I'm in terms of art, because it's really hard. It's really hard for people to believe this, but because in my day-to-day life, I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist unless it's to do with anything creative. I am extremely unorganized. I have a crazy ADHD brain that I just cannot seem to focus. I'm a mess at home sometimes. But anything that's to do with a creative side of me is the complete opposite.
So, we like to deep dive into understanding your songs, your music, and when I say we, I mean me in terms of the songs, because obviously your songs are just stuck in my head during this period, especially since you're performing at the Korak
Yeah,
live music event, October 30th. People buy your tickets or 10.
October 30th.
So,
Can't wait for that one.
without one of the music that I've been putting out there in terms of your promo is Take You There, which is
Oh yeah.
classic song, like it, dance. The video is good. What would you say is, because obviously I'll get my own message from Take You There, everybody else, but what was it for you? What's the message in the song? What's it about? And
I should take you there. I think so. It was the first like real dance song that I'd released after, because I'd released a couple of disco tracks, a couple of pop tracks as my first kind of year into the music industry. Take You There was then my first dance track, and it was all about I wanted the music industry, because I've found a lot, even though sometimes it's hard to believe, but I've had instances in like the music industry where it's too queer, it's too gay, it's too this, and it's not going to sell because of this. And I go, okay, cool. Well, then I won't get signed on it. I'll put it out myself. I don't care, because again, that's the artist that I want to be. That's the sound that I want to put out. I'm not going to pretend to be this other person just to try and become a more marketable. Because also I feel like it's not always about that.
Mhm.
It's about as long as I'm able to have a life on stage, I'm happy. I like it. I don't think I've really ever thought about, oh, I have to make X amount of cash, I have to make X amount of this, whatever. I mean, obviously, it would be nice to not have to spend all of my own income, every penny I earn on my music, but I guess it wouldn't be a passion if I didn't do that. But anyway, sorry. So I said, take you there. It was basically just about me saying to the music industry, hey, I'm an artist. I'm a new big energy on the scene. I'm gonna take you into my life. I'm gonna take you on my journey, and here I am.
I
And that
like
was
it.
kind of it.
It's actually a very good, catchy song, and whether you like dance music or pop or anything, but it's very, as you it's the attention. It just catches you. Boom, 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 boom.
Well, we were in
It's
the studio basically,
stuck in my head now, which is a problem
and
because
Cormac, the producer, who's a really good friend of mine, we were in the studio, and I mean, yeah, we'd written the verses and stuff for months, and it was just sat on a hard drive, and we were like, oh, where do we want to go with this song? And I went to the studio again, and I can't remember off the top of my head. It's probably on my phone or something. But yeah, the chorus was actually like it was almost too much. It had like too many words in the chorus, and every time we heard it, I was like, it just doesn't sound right.
mm,
It's not catchy. So then I think we were sat there with my old agent at the time, and we were just like, I was like, I think I said, I feel like even if it was just something like stupid, like "Da-la-la-la-la, da-la-la," like, because I was saying I want to take you there, but I didn't know how to say I was going to take you there. So then I was like, let me take you there, like dum 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 dum, because really people can think of dum 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 as whatever they want, really. So yeah, we changed our chorus, what we've been sat on for ages, to dum da da dum dum, and it wasn't the most deep of words.
yeah, but it's catchy.
However, it did work for that song, and it was catchy, and people can take that as they wish, and it worked. So
Well, funny enough, looking at your catalog and everything they released, my favorite song is "Out Your Life,"
yeah,
which is I was going to bring it up because I'm surprised it doesn't make the list of what you're performing on Korak. Why doesn't it make the list? Because that's to me, in my opinion, that's like your best song. So what's the song? What's the message? And then you can
You're
explain.
like, kind of your life now.
Yes,
So
very the original version.
drum and bass.
Yes, very sweet, straight
So
to the point.
out
What's
of life, I haven't chosen. I have played it a few times, and one of my friends, Nat, who's on the drums, he like, I mean, he's incredible, and it's just been one of those songs though that I feel like performing it live with a band, it it it's it it's hard. It's not only hard in the terms of like, oh, it's hard to play, but I mean, it's hard to put that sound across because Out Your Life for me was made it into a drum and bass song because at first it wasn't, it was pop, and I hadn't even written that song as a drum and bass song, but because I wanted to get that frustration out about just cutting people out of your life because I was just like sick of some people's energies in my life, and I was like, why am I getting so frustrated by things and by situations and by certain relationships and by like
Have you had to
things that
cut
were
out
toxic.
loads of people in this on your journey?
I mean, I haven't cut out loads of people as such. It's just I just wanted to write a song about it and say if you do have a toxic kind of relationship or like a moment or an energy in your life, you don't have to stick with it. Just cut it out. So I felt like um and also at the time as well. Well, I say at the time. I mean, I've always been a huge fan of like Becky Hill, and she's she's like a big drum and bass girly, um, and I think I was like, oh, I didn't ever think that I would be able to do a drum and bass song, but I feel like it would be the perfect way to get this song because I was talking about cutting people out, and it's that drum and bass kind of sound. It's like that kick, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. But in answer to your question, yeah, I feel like I think it's just a bit hard to perform live with a band. So if I was able to perform it at a show where it was click tracked and we could play the track and the band over the top and have the instrumental and a band, then yeah, I'd be able to do that. But obviously, it's not one of those shows. So I mean,
Soon,
in the
soon.
future, I'll
We'll
be
get
able
there.
to.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
But it's a very good song. I say your catalog is good. You're working on new music, releasing loads this year. One or two you'll perform at Korak, which we're looking forward to. Um, in terms of collaborations, who will be your ideal collaboration musically? In terms of where you feel, you know what, I would love to do a song with him or her.
Um, I think it changes all the time as well because I've just had a big year of like purely I was so inspired by like dance. I always really wanted to work with Jax Jones, just because he was putting out like this old school sound again, and it was kind of like this trancey Euro poppy kind of sound that I was like, oh my god! And then I heard it was always him and Joel Corey, because I remember when Joel Corey, because I'm a big fan of MNEK as an artist, and um, they're also kind of a big inspiration of mine. And when I heard his collab, yeah, with MNEK, and it was like, oh my god, this thing has just begun. I was like, oh, this is sick. Like, I really want a song like this. And then when Jax Jones also, it was actually the same artist. So when Jax Jones also did a collaboration with MNEK, the oh my love, where did you go? I don't know if you remember that song.
I like
Where
it. I
did
like
you
it how musicians
go?
just reel off the nice voice like everybody else can do it. If I try that, man, I'll break glasses in here. But
Well, thanks. But no, yeah, so I really wanted to work with Joel Corey and Jax Jones. Um, I've sent Jax Jones about 65 DMs, 100 emails. Jax Jones, I'm going to tag you if we ever use this clip and say,
no,
why
we are
can't
going to
you
use this
check your
clip.
messages?
Yes, tell him
Because
again.
also I do have a demo that's perfect. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm going to put it out now because I'm going down maybe kind of like a few more. I'm going off on like a tangent a little bit, and I wanted to take a little backseat of only doing dance music. Like after Christmas and stuff, I want to put out, as I said, more pop stuff. I want to put out, I want to put out a ballad. I've written a couple of ballads, and I was like, you know what, I feel like I've always thought, oh, I can't do that because I've started dance music, but actually, I can do it. I can do anything I want to. However, yeah, I would love to work. I'd love to have a song with Joel Corey or Jax Jones. Like also an artist that I think is great is Abby Flynn, who's also from like a soul background, and she was on a lot of like huge dance tracks. Yeah, but I was not credited because it was through like splice vocals and things
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, but now she's just getting her time, and she's just done a new track called Phases, I think, with Joel Corey. And again, it's that kind of like trancey sound that I would just love to perform in big clubs. So yeah, Joel Corey, Jax Jones. I
Well, if you're
believe.
listening, people,
Because also, as I said, I don't ever want to be just someone on a track. I want to perform a whole club tour with them. I want to go around all the clubs with them and appear with them and perform on stage because it's not just about being on the song. It's about performing those songs live. And obviously, dance music, to perform it live, it is incredible when you get everyone dancing and I'm dancing. Like it's amazing.
would you do cross genres other than dance music? Would you do collaboration with R&B, Afrobeats, everybody else? Would you? Are you open to
Well, I
cross
just
genres?
did. I've just released an Afro pop song
Oh,
like 2 weeks
hello.
ago called Like
Nice.
That.
Oh, yes, like
Um,
that. And that is going to be performed. I remember that's on the list. I
yeah,
like it.
and that was yeah, because one of my friends, Dean, yeah, we basically um were in the studio. I think when I was working in the studio, we were working on some stuff that I'd written, and it was because I forgot how we met now, but I was like, oh, I really I need a producer to kind of piece this all together for me. And then he showed me some things that he was working on, and I was like, oh, like that. I was like, I love it, and I was really inspired by it. But again, as we all do, we think, oh, I'm pigeonholed into this one style, or I'm pigeonholed into this one kind of look. I can't expand. And as everyone who is aware of how I am as a person, I don't just take things and go, oh, okay, I'll just have to settle that. And I'll go, no, why should I? So I said to him, no, I actually really want to write a track, but I don't want to write it for someone else. I want to perform it. And if it resonates, it does. If not, who cares? I still able to be inspired by that. And as I said, I'm always inspired by all different genres and styles. So yeah, it was really nice. And I've also got a bit more of a darker Afro house track coming out at the end of October, which I'm really excited about.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We have the one and only Anthony Hughes on Korak telling us his story. It's been amazing. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you for
joining
having
us.
me.
Of course, we have loads of more footsteps on your journey. We're here for it. We're going to be here. At
Woo!
some point, you'll be
Can't wait.
back. But people, performing live with all his original music, with the backliners, October 30th, Thursday. Please buy your tickets. Bring a friend or 200 if you want to.
Yes.
Well, we have a closing tradition on Korak, and what you do is I'm creating a playlist,
Yeah.
and I need you to put a song on that playlist. It could be your song, it could be any other person's song, but what song would you put on the playlist and why?
Right now, probably Man I Need, Olivia Dean. Just because, I mean, yes, as I said, my, my best styles that I like to um what am I trying to say? The best music that I like as a fan is not always the same as what
Yeah.
I do on stage. And obviously, as I said, I've always loved a soulful sound, and I've always loved her voice. But her new song is kind of like 80s soul vibes. Yeah, I don't know, it's cool, but yeah, the past 2 weeks I've been absolutely obsessed. Have you heard it?
No.
I
What's it called
wanna be
again?
the man I need.
Man,
I
I
wanna
Need
I
Olivia Dean.
want it.
I mean, I'm going to put it on the playlist, so I have to listen to it.
It's
So
really,
it's
really
good.
cool.
Well, there you go. We're going to add that as another addition.
And obviously Anthony Hughes like that.
Okay, so there are two songs. You're the first person that's had two songs. You're good. You're
Okay.
broken the mold. So I'll give you two songs. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for being a Korak. We'll see you soon. You're performing at the Korak Live Music events, and don't be a stranger. Be a friend.
Always a friend.
Always a friend. I like it. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Anthony Hughes.
Thank you.
And of course, your host, MC Sabi Boy. See you soon, people. More times.